When it's a Halloween movie, not a Halloween movie. When it's a Christmas Halloween movie, that's when. Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your really super gory, bloodletting, bloodthirsty, gruesome services. How are you all? You're all doing very, very well. Now, Terrifier 3. Ho ho ho! Oh yes, oh yes. Gorehounds around the world, unite and sing the blood-drenched praises of Damien Leone. Damien Leone, the creator, the writer, the director of the Terrifier movies. And what a great name that is as well. Damien, as in Damien, it's all for you, Damien. The Omen, of course. And Leone, as in Sergio Leone. The Dollars trilogy. Glorification of violence, long protracted scenes of bloodletting and death. This is the guy that brought the Stalk and Slash, the slasher movie, the monster movie, the creature feature from the 70s and the 80s into the, what are we now, 2020s? The 2020s. It all stemmed from a short movie, The Ninth Circle of Hell, and introduced Art the Clown. And Art the Clown in this short movie became a thing of terror, but it gripped everyone who saw it enough to make Damien Leone think, hang on a minute, I can stretch this out, maybe I can make a movie. And he made a movie called Terrifier, which caught on. And wow, it was gory and really supremely mean-spirited and very, very unpleasant and gory as all hell. And yet people loved it. They did. So he got Terrifier 2, which he stretched things out. He gave backstory, he gave a mythology to Art the Clown, a demon. We've got our main protagonist from Terrifier 2 and into this movie, Terrifier 3. Yeah, her dad is a comic book artist. He's dead from a brain tumour, but he created a heroine, a hero with a big sword, because she wanted a female heroine in his comic books. But he had dreamt and was horribly afflicted by nightmares of Art the Clown. Art the Clown, of course, is like a mimic, a mime. He's not like that guy over there. Not like the Joker. He's not like Pennywise. He's a mime, silent. Lots of little gestures and mannerisms, very exaggerated. Little silly hat on his head, and the little, the kind of the clown that weep and then smiles. The whole yin yang of the clown personality, and that is Art the Clown. But he's a demon, and he's got tools in his bag. Oh yeah, hammers, chisels, chainsaws, blowtorches, knives of every description, and even his own fingers and his teeth. He will rip people's faces off their skulls while they're still living. He will tear heads off, limbs off, hack hands apart. He will do everything to the most innocent of people, and we love him for it. How bizarre is that? Now, these films are not for everybody. They are not. I've covered the first two films before, and I love them. I am a die-hard gorehound, and yet I'm one of those that despises torture porn. Hostel, I think, was shit. The Saw movies, you may love them. A huge fan base for them, but I do nothing for me whatsoever. Boring. I like a demon, an entity, a bogeyman, a villain who can lurk in the shadows and come on, that's suspense. Torture porn is not suspense. And yet, Damien Leone seems to have taken the grue and the gallows and the gruesomeness, the grand guignol of torture porn, and mingled it with the suspense, the Stalk and Slash movies, and then injected a huge pantomimic sense of humour, creating with Art the Clown a new demigod of horror. Without a doubt. Now, like, if you look on any forum going there, they're all saying, oh, he's up there now with Leatherface and Pinhead, and I'm playing Hellbound Hellraiser 2, Christopher Young's phenomenal score for it. I have the score for Terrifier 3, like I have for the first two films as well, but I can't play them because they're on my phone and I'm recording on the phone, so I have no other means of playing it for your edification. So we'll stick with Hellraiser, Hellbound. He makes this guy, Art the Clown, into a new, horribly subversive, uber nasty yet uber charismatic anti-hero. He does the most despicable things to the most innocent of people. Yes, in these movies, kids are not off the menu. Kids are offed horribly. Although there is, Damien Leone will be the first to admit, yeah, I'm not showing them actually getting chopped up or blown up, but I will show the aftermath, and you will know that kids are in jeopardy, and oh my god, you will know that. So anyway, look, he's created this new super anti-hero in Art the Clown, played by, I always get this guy's name wrong, David Howard Thornton, who is brilliant. His antics, his mannerisms, his face with the makeup on, makeup like this, you know, the black and white, and you know, and the teardrops and all this, riding a little tricycle, his little horn, you know, that wasn't very horn-like, was it? That's more like it. And taking the piss out of the people he's torturing and killing, taking the piss out of them as well. But he's prancing around and doing stuff. He's hysterical. He is, genuinely. You're fascinated by him. There is a thing about Art the Clown which makes him vastly apart from all the other villains I've mentioned. Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, Michael Myers. They are not on screen for a lot of the time of the movie. You focus on, you know, your protagonists, and the villain will come out, out the shadows, do whatever he does for a few seconds, and you might see some snippets of him in the shadows and moving about and all that. You know, you'll know about his presence being there. Art the Clown, his kill scenes last for minutes and minutes and minutes, and then even more minutes. And then you see him in downtime, sitting there, taking the piss out of potential victims. He's on screen for an enormous amount of time. And that alone makes this franchise something different, because he's there all the time. I don't care what you say, but Freddy Krueger is not, even in the later series, the later sequels, where he just lampoons himself. And Freddy Krueger, who was one of the most terrifying of villains in Nightmare on Elm Street, the original movie. Anniversary showing very soon. I'm going to it. Wow, can't wait. Now, his villainy, his terror, his horror was diluted by overexposure and just taking the piss out of himself. Endless one-liners. Well, Art the Clown doesn't do that. Doesn't speak, does he? And yet he's on screen for an enormous amount of time. You are terrified of what he's going to do next. His bag of tricks. He's always got a bag over his shoulder with chainsaws, mallets, fucking this, that and the other. All tools of wicked debauchery and mutilation in his bag of tricks. And he just traverses Miles County, which is, he staked his claim there, and does the most despicable things and takes his sweet time doing it, and lets other people see they could be chained up, tied up, strapped to a wall or a chair, and he will butcher their friends and loved ones, family members, right before their very eyes, and then he'll move on to them. Oh God, it is wickedly brilliant. So Terrifier 3. Now, look, I'm not going to go into all the backstory, and I'm not going to go into all the story of this one massively, because there is story to this, and I think Damien Leone, who's obviously written all this and created it, because it's been a big success, he's gone like, well, shit, I need to like work out a bit of backstory here. Who is Art the Clown? Well, it's a demon that uses a body as a host, like Michael Myers. So you can kill it, it'll come back. And the Terrifier 2, Sienna, our heroine, played by Lauren Levera, manages with her mystical sword bestowed by her father, who's a comic book artist, because she wanted a female heroine in his comic books, so he created one. And the sword, the mystical sword, can destroy Art. She manages, after being beaten and abused and seeing everyone she knows and loves get butchered and tortured, including her brother Jonathan. Oh my God, who survived that movie? She manages to behead Art the Clown. That doesn't stop him. No. Because in Terrifier 2, he had a little sidekick. This little girl that had the same makeup on and would piss on the floor and do all sorts of debauchery and join Art in his carnage. They end up in an asylum, and she gives birth to his own severed head, and then they eat the nurse that's there, and he's reborn again. And you see that at the start of this movie. And you have Chris Jericho, wrestler Chris Jericho, playing the nurse. He'll be chowed down upon and his face literally ripped from the bones of his skull, ripped off by Art the Clown, severed head, and his new sidekick, played by, did I write this down? I did not write it down. But anyway, he has a new sidekick in this. And the two of them then go on a new fresh rampage around the same county. And you've got Sienna, who's spent the last 5 years in an asylum trying to like reconcile her survival and having nightmares about Art the Clown, losing her family, but still got her brother there. Jonathan survived, but he's gone on to high school, but you know he's still got PTSD. But she's got massive flashbacks. But she's the hero. But is Art the Clown really dead? No, he's not. He's come back. And in a great sequence at the start of this movie, you get him and his new partner in crime, which is Victoria. I did not write the actress's name down. I did not do it. But she's a former butchered girl from Art's previous reigns of terror, and she's hideously mangled, but she's gone completely deranged, and now she's joined him. She's working with him. Very, very similar in many ways to Harley Quinn and the Joker. The Joker is a clown, the clown prince of crime, and you've got Art the Clown, and you have Victoria. Vicky is now like Harley Quinn, working with him. But the two of them, after a bit of a rampage, the film starts off with a horrific attack on a family in the days running up to Christmas. It's nasty. Axe killings aplenty. Head severings, body eviscerations, and it's pretty grim, but it sets the tone for what you're going to get. You're watching a Terrifier movie. What do you think's going to happen? Immense bloodletting. A river Nile of gore is going to engulf the screen and sweep you up with it, with offal and gibbets and gobbets of flesh and all the bits and bobs inside you. Everything's going to come you're going to drown in it. This film has more gore than any film I could think of, truly. But they end up going back to the house, and they hibernate, and it's a really weird, surreal sequence. They go back to the house, and what do they do in their downtime when they're not off killing people? Well, the demonic presence within them has to rest. So Art goes up into the attic. It's got Amityville horror style house, eyes, top windows. Gets in a rocking chair and just sits there. Vicky goes down to this horrible quagmire of a bath in the basement and gets a shard of glass and begins to cut herself even more because she's completely doolally. She got one glassy eye, one bulbous eye. She's mangled, her face barely even there. She's a fucking mess. And then in the bath of sludge, she'll fall asleep. And 5 years pass, 5 years. But you see them, they're hibernating. And then 5 years later, 2 workies in high-vis jackets go in there. Oh, we've got to renovate this place. We're going to do a recce first. And they go in there. Well, you take the downstairs, I'll take the upstairs. And they will encounter, one will encounter Vicky in the bath. One will encounter Art in the rocking chair. And he's like, the fuck is this? There's someone here. Oh, it's got to be a mannequin. It's got to be a dummy. He's doing that in front of Art's face. And then suddenly Art just goes, ding. And he's covered in cobwebs. They have hibernated for 5 years. It's a bizarre concept. Michael Myers goes missing for years. What's he done in the interim? Jason Voorhees goes missing. Well, he actually never goes fucking missing, does he? Because more idiotic campers and counsellors go to Crystal Lake. So he's always going to be there for him. Never gets a fucking day off, does Jason Voorhees. But Michael Myers does get time off. And Art gets at least 5 years here. But no, you're here. Ba-ding! Super strength, throwing this guy around. And the guy downstairs in the basement gets the glass shard that she was using to rip herself up with in his neck. Fountains. She offs him. He offs this guy. Nails into the floor and peels his fucking head. Rips his scalp apart and then peels it like a banana. Fucking blood everywhere. And it brings the two of them back to life. And they go on another rampage. In the meantime, Sienna gets released from the hospital, the asylum. And she goes to live with her auntie, Jess, and her husband, Greg? Is it Greg? Mark? I don't know what his fucking name is. and their daughter, Gabby. Gabby, played by Antonella Rose, who's great. She hero worships Sienna, and doesn't know what happened to her. Just knows, well, she's been away, but before you went away to the asylum, not that she knows that, before you went away on holiday, we were great mates, and we always did stuff together. We always caused trouble together. So she can't wait to see it. So there's a bond there. But Sienna's got memories and nightmares, and she's kept a journal of all their nightmares and visions because she sees all the people that died around there who are blaming her for their deaths. She sees them all the time, and she's terrified of Art the clown coming back, even though she beheaded him. But we all know he's still around, and but she joins his family, this journal, and we learn very early on that what's her name? Jess? Is it Jess? Gabby, the little girl, is a bit of a covert operative. She will find things, and we learn very early, all the presents in the past. She always finds them, unwraps them, sees what they are, and then wraps them back up again, but very, very badly. That plays into the movie, and she finds the journal. Like she begins to read stuff like, "Oh, I love your scars. Your scars are dead cool." Because she got butchered. Sienna got massively fucking butchered in Terrifier 2. He wouldn't survive it, in all honesty. But she is possibly a superhero. Remember that. And I think your scars are dead cool. Where'd you get them from? Oh, it was just a fight. Did you win? Yeah, I won. Yeah. Because she did at the time. But what's this? That's my diary, my journal. Don't ever read that. Don't ever touch that. But of course, Gabby will read that and learn of all the things that happened to no. So is she the auntie? Let's get this right. Sienna stays with her auntie, who's got a daughter. What's that daughter to? Who cares? Families. I've got massive family. I've got people who stop me on the streets. Oh, I'm your cousin, and I don't even know them. I don't know them from you. And I'm going like, oh yeah, Kilt-Man, I'm your cousin. You've met me before. We've been to a party and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I have no idea who the hell you are. Anyone could tell me this. We are a huge clan. We have got our tendrils in every fucking continent. So everywhere I go in the world, someone's gonna go, I know you. Yes, yeah. I'm your second cousin, twice removed. I haven't got a fucking clue. So this whole family dynamic in Terrifier, I don't really know. I don't really care. Nor should you. All you need to know is that Sienna loves Gabby. Gabby loves Sienna. But Art the clown is still around. And it's Christmas time. They've already killed a family. Very badly. And they'll move on. He puts on a Santa Claus suit. As you would, of course. And he's got his bag of tricks. Santa Claus has a sack of toys over his shoulder. So in the snowy suburbs, he's padding around and like, oh. But he's still got his fucking pantomime mimic ghost face sort of thing. And they pass a bar. And the bar, it's closing. And he got an off-duty Santa Claus with his mate. His mate, played by, Clint Howard. Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother. In so many movies, Sam Raimi movies. He's in Tango and Cash. He's in fucking loads of movies. But you don't recognise him in this. He's going bald on top. And he's got a pure Santa Claus hairdo. Long, curly, grey hair and a big, wiry, grey beard. And that's real. That's how he looks. But you've got Santa Claus sitting there, off duty. I've been to a shopping mall and all that. But Art comes past and looks in. And he goes and joins these two guys and the bartender. None of them like this guy coming in. He was kind of weird, doesn't say a word, looks freakish. The bartender's really not enjoying this guy's company. But Santa Claus is going like, no. Look, there's already been two babes sat on his lap, two big bodacious babes. He's loving that. And Clint Howard's going like, there's some perks to your job, isn't there? Oh yeah. Next thing you know, like those girls have gone, but Art's come in there. And like, well, no, give him his chance. But the bartender's like, there's something wrong with this guy. This guy's fucking freakish. What do you want? You got any ID? You want a drink? Got any ID? Comes out with the ID of one of the guys, the two guys that went into the house, the workies that got offed big time. And he's going like, it's a black guy, got a much different face than this pale faced, mimic. And he's like, you sure you're Morris? Just give him a drink. And the whole thing goes on. And they're laughing and joking. Although Art's not saying a damn word. Art, before this, has sat and made new weapons and toys of bodily destruction. Playing with rats. He's used liquid nitrogen to freeze a rat so he can smash it apart. And he's got it in his backpack. And he fucks around with these guys. They get him a drink, a whiskey, and he spits it in Santa's face. What the fuck I just bought you that drink. Oh, no, get him out of here now, get him out of here. And Art pisses on the floor as well, like, and it's just, whoa, what's this? We all know what's about to happen. Art pulls a gun out from his bag, blows the other, Clint Howard and the bartender, blows them away. Copious blood, wounds and brain matter. Clubs Santa, ties him up to a chair, brings out his fucking liquid nitrogen canister, which you'd be thinking, is that a flamethrower? You're going to burn me? No, it's the exact opposite. I'm going to freeze you. And he freezes his hands and his shins, and then proceeds with that fucking hammer to smash his shin bone to bits. Blood going everywhere, and his hands mangle the hands up. Oh. And you know what's going to come next? In the face, baby. And then fuck off. And hits me, takes half his face apart. Blood going everywhere. And one eye moving all the time. Painfully, horribly aware. Gets the carrot off the snowman and fucking wedges it in the mashed up maw of his face. There we go. Oh dear Christ. It is grim. But you're sitting there and you're like, how far are you gonna go with this? Oh, you are going. Oh yeah, you went beyond what I thought you were gonna do. The killings go on. You have involved in this Jonathan, who is Sienna's brother, who survived Terrifier 2 in high school, and his roommate, I didn't get their names, he's shagging this fit blonde called Mia, but she's also part of a podcast, the Graven thing, the Graven podcast, Graven something, I don't know. But she loves true crime, and of course Art the Clown, the Mild County clown killer, is big news. So, and he survived it, Jonathan. So she's shagging this guy because it's the roommate of Jonathan. She wants to get to know him, but he's dead shy and nervous, big nerdy. So these two will persist. But your sister, she's the one, and you get a horrible meeting of her because she wants to interview her for the podcast, and but her mate in the mall, they're sitting there like, that must be, how do you survive that? Because you're the only one that survived, you're the only one that was involved in all of these crimes, and yet the one you say was the killer, they never got his body. Where's his body? But you were there every single murder. And like, she goes fucking ballistic, you know. And it's quite a good scene because, you know, people who do survive stuff like this do get harassed. Halloween 2018 tried this very badly with the British podcasters that want to do like a report on Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode surviving, you know, The Shape, the Bogeyman from 1978. Look, you know, I'm not going to go into all that, but this is more believable because this is more recent, and Art the Clown killed fucking far more people, so it's far more relevant. When Michael Myers, as far as Halloween 2018 is concerned, it's a direct sequel to the original. Nothing else ever happened. He didn't kill anyone else in the hospital. None of that ever happened. It's just literally 5 people he killed, and it's fucking 40 years before. And like, why are they dredging that up? It's a really stupid hook for the movie, but I hate that, and you guys know how much I hate that fucking trilogy from Blumhouse. An absolute travesty. This works because it's new, it's recent, and they would be doing it because, oh, you know the person. Great. But I like the way that Sienna rebels against it. Like, what do you fucking think I feel? And you know, how dare you, and all, and she blows up big time in the mall. The mall. the shopping mall, Christmas time. Another Santa's been there with kids on his lap. What do you want for Christmas? Yeah, I'll take that. Garfly. And the elves are all there. All the winter wonderland set dressings. Right, it's time for our break now. Sienna has seen a Santa arrive. And it's art. We know it's art. She knows it's Art the Clown. Because the way he's walking, the sack over his shoulder, and the little... and all that. His manners, he's got like a plastic, fat, chubby, like this. He's basically got my face in plastic over his own makeup, and a big beard on him, looking like a Santa Claus. But she sees him, and she's there with Jonathan. She's like, "I've seen him. He's here now." And she's like, "Ah, fuck off! No way. He's dead. You killed him. You took his head off. Christ's sake!" But he does this around with his bloodied hands. He's covered in fucking blood, wearing a Santa Claus suit and the big fucking hat, and all that. Like my young friend here, Mr. Kentucky Fudge. He's very, very Santa Clausified. But he sits in the chair, and the kids are going like, who are waiting, for the next session of Santa Claus. "Oh, there's Santa," and he goes, "Little present for you." And then all the kids stampede, and Art's like, oh. His mannerisms, his mime, his gesticulations, they're so OTT. It's silent movie stuff. It's Marcel Marceau. It's pure that, but with the most sinister, satanic undertones you can imagine. And so he gives toys to him, but he's covered in blood, and the mums and dads are kind of going like, this fucking guy, what the hell? Can he get our kids away from core security? So the big security guy comes over. "Hey, you ain't Santa Claus. You get the fuck out of that chair now. Get the fuck out of here." And shoves him away, and he's like, oh God, no. But one kid's gone back and opened up a big box, and in that box is a bomb. Boosh. Fucking, it's like Invasion USA with Chuck Norris. A low budget attack on an American, icon, a shopping mall. And women and kids are splattered everywhere. And you see the aftermath. There's guts and gizzards hanging out of eviscerated bodies. But kids have died. And Art gets away with it. Another cameo here, which in America, brought cheers of applause for people that know who this guy is. You know who this guy is. Tom Savini, the godfather of gore, the guy that put George Romero's movies well and truly on the cinematic carnage map. Bullet wounds, flesh ripping out, bites and fucking disembowelings. The Prowler, Friday the 13th, several Friday the 13th, Maniac, Day of the Dead, God's sake, Tom Savini. Absolute creep show, an absolute demigod of destruction. And he's there, he's interviewed on TV, I just saw this Santa, the security guy kicked this Santa out of there, and next thing, this bomb went up, boom, everyone's dead. But it's Tom Savini. So just a little cameo. In a way, I kind of wish it was different, because it doesn't really do anything. You go, wow, we're doing practical effects in this movie because we're paying respect to what you did, Sir Tom. But we give you a little cameo of a little bystander. I don't know, I kind of wish it was more than what we got. But hey, he's there and it's interesting. So, in my screen, absolutely nobody other than me realised. And I was like, yes! Sorry, that's Tom Savini. You try to educate people. So yeah, but Sienna's realised, because she saw this Santa and realised that the way he's moving, the way he did this, that's him, he's there. And she's had flashbacks, people that has died around her, sitting at the dinner table with Gabby and Jess, her auntie, and Jess's husband, whose name I did not write down. I know. Don't remind me. And she's seen this other faceless victim with a gob hanging somewhere else, going like, just pass me the fucking rice. I'm dead because of you. Because of you, I'm dead. And it's a good scene because you're getting this whole thing of like someone who is witnessing visions of horrible trauma that she'd seen before. Here. American Earth in London. David suddenly seeing his best mate, Jack Goodman, coming back as a fucking zombie, telling him he's a werewolf. It's done for comedic purposes, but it's also very prophetic, and it's quite fatalistic, and in the end, very, very spooky, as well as being, for comedic value. But like, you ever talk to a corpse? It's boring, It's like that. But she goes off the handle, like has to go on medication. But Gabby has been reading her journal and knows all this stuff. So Sienna goes back to the house, the family house. We have a couple of flashbacks to her father telling her, did I mention this before? I probably did. And it's Jason Patrick from Lost Boys and Speed 2. And about to be seen with Sly Stallone in the film Armour. If you watch the trailer for Armour, you've seen the entire movie. 2.5 minutes of trailer tells you everything about that movie. You guys know how much I love Stallone. This looks fucking pants. Absolute wank of a movie. I'm not going to flick. If it's on the flicks, I'm not going to see it. Sly, you've not got my money on this one. I will see it, I've already paused on it, but I'm not going to pay good money to watch this. It looks utter shite. But Jason Patrick's in that. And he's in this, he plays the father, Michael. Not Father Michael, but Michael, who's the father of Sienna and Jonathan. And you've got the flashbacks to that. But they're not big. They're very brief flashbacks about him doing comic book stuff. And like, I'll create a heroine because you want one. And this sword will be the sword which... She's an angel, she's got superpowers. The sword will enable her to kill any kind of evil, which of course we saw in Terrifier 2 and will come back in this movie. Of course. So Sienna now totally believes, she hears on the news about this bomb going off. It's him. And she's trying to get Jonathan to understand, look, come back here to the house where it's safe because he's out there. And he's like, oh, okay, all right, send Greg, her auntie's husband, to come and pick me up. But in the meantime, she goes back to the family house and gets the sword, comes back with old grubby hands, and Gabby's like, what's happened to your hands there? Like, I had a fall on some snow and ice. I sailed down a few blocks. You'd have loved it. Oh, I wish I'd seen that. Yeah. So I'm all grubby from that. Just been digging around to get this sword out. So she got this mythological sword which her dad created. What did I do? Did I knock the music off there? Dear God. And she packages the sword up and puts it behind the Christmas tree. It's there. We know it's there. Gabby knows it's there. So, anyway, back at the high school dormitories. It's Christmas time, so most of the kids are fucked off. But Jonathan's roommate and Mia, the one from the Graven podcast thing, true crime thing, they're there and they're getting it on in the shower. Art is there. Art has heard them talking about him, and the lad's going like, it's like you want to fuck this guy. He goes, I don't want to fuck him. And Art's going in the background, and like, look, he's like Jack the Ripper. He's like this, he's like that, and like he's going like, yeah, I'm better than them, and he's harumph. So they go and have a shag in the shower, as you do. Art has a piss in the background, shakes his boot, the other boot, revs up a chainsaw, as you do, and stands outside the shower cubicle. And as they're suddenly, what's that noise? Oh, chainsaw comes through the glass door. Oh my God. This is the scene. It goes on and on. They get limbs, fingers, everything comes off. Legs are hacked off. They limp off on stumps, fall over. The girl gets her head gets bisected several times. Her guts come out. Everything comes out. Limbs are flying everywhere. Leg over his shoulder. The poor lad gets a chainsaw up his arse, and then revved up the back of his spine. He turns him over and does through his scrotum upwards. Oh my God. And you see all these bits flopping about and fucking blood everywhere. It is absolute wall-to-wall carnage. And Art, loving, his namesake, Art, makes not a snow angel, but a blood angel on the floor. Ooh, there we go. That scene is going to be the one that is really celebrated for gorehounds, because it just goes on and on and on, and the prosthetic effects are just genius. It is very similar to Tom Savini stuff. There's even like Day of the Dead, a finger biting bit in that bit. I think he bites two fingers and spits them out, and he's fighting. And there's a lot of face ripping in this movie as well. Oh, we'll come on to the effects. We're just talking about the story and what happens. So he kills these two, and Sienna has another dream. If I remember rightly, she has another dream. Comes downstairs and discovers that no, it wasn't a fucking dream. Art and Vicky, who she had visions of, are in the house. What? Art turns around with a big mallet. Boof! Boof! Fucking face, head blows. Bang! Bang! We'll kill you and me. She's lying there, and he comes like, whoa! Bang! Knocks her out, and then she'll wake up Texas Chainsaw style, taped to a chair, gaffer tape round her gob and all that. And there's her auntie, Jess. Jess is played by, did I write this down? And I didn't write that down either. Why? I'm so rubbish at this. He's sitting in the chair opposite. Remember the rats I mentioned? The rats. Well, they're going to come into play here. Jess's husband, who went to pick up Jonathan, Sienna's brother. Are you with me on this? It doesn't really matter. He's there, killed off screen, but he's spread-eagled on the wall. Headless, naked on the wall, spread-eagled, like the cruciform of Jesus. And his guts he's been opened up and his guts are hanging out. And his head is atop the Christmas tree. His head is on top of the Christmas tree. Not the fairy, the severed head. And Art is unravelling the intestines and he's wrapping it round the Christmas tree like tinsel. It's fucking grotesque. It really is. It's so OTT. Wrapping it around there. But Victoria is really, because Art doesn't speak, but Vicky is, and she's taking the piss out of both the women who were trapped in their chairs. But where's Gabby? Where's your daughter? If you've hurt her, no, don't you threaten me, and taunting. And there's something on a table which is wrapped up, like a bird's cage, wrapped up. Now, well, maybe Gabby's here. Ooh, should we have a little look under here? And there's a flesh-ripped skull, totally bedecked with crimson grue and gore, festooned with rats eating all the bits of flesh still attached. There's Gabby. Like, you're fucking kidding. And that's her mother sitting right there, and that's her mother's the auntie of, oh, it doesn't matter, but they, their family, and Sienna's like, she's still taped up, and all that, like, but then begins the whole family invasion torture porn sequence, which is really, really, really nasty, because it's not actually Gabby's head, but we'll come on to that. Art has a plastic tube. They rip the tape off Jess, the auntie's mouth, and he fucking rams this tube, Ash and Ripley style. Only goes much further than that from Alien. Puts it in her mouth and fucking hammers it down, breaking all her teeth, shattering her cheeks, and her mouth just splits. Bang, 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 bang. Go, fucking goes on. Bang, 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 bang. It's just like, and then puts rats down it. They didn't want to go down though. So a little blowtorch incentive. Rats go down the tube and go into her mouth. Nibble, nibble, nibble. Move around in her throat. Vicky then slits the throat, and offal and rats come tumbling out. Oh God. Who fancies turkey for lunch? Christmas dinner. Really nasty. And oh, you thought that was Gabby? No, that's not Gabby. And they get the skull and they put Jonathan's glasses on it. Jonathan, her brother. They put the glasses on Jonathan, on his skull. It's like, you fucking bitch, I'll fucking kill you. You won't kill me. Now, there's the thing about the supernatural elements here. We've worked out, or they have worked out, that Art is a demon, but the demon needs a human conduit, a host to come through. Vicky is the host, so Vicky can be killed. But Vicky, who's the mouthpiece, she's the entity inside her body. Because I want to get inside you, to Sienna. I want to get inside you. You're going to see this. I'm going to get inside you. But, oh, is there a present from Gabby to you? Is there something? Oh, do you want to open that present? Really? Oh, sorry, I should have said Gabby is not dead, and they bring Gabby in. So you've got the young girl there. In these movies, they have to be very clever that the young actress or actor, if they're under a certain age, sorry folks, I talk for so long that I get very dry, and I've got nothing to alleviate that either at the moment. Fuck off. Fuck cough. They can't see what we are seeing. They can't see any of that. So it's got to work very clever, got to box clever on this. But when you're watching it, she's there with carnage. Her mum and dad are just destroyed, mutilated beyond belief, and she's like horrified. And there's, Sienna, don't worry, I'm going to save you, get out of this. Right, well, oh, I do apologise. Is there a present you want to open? Yeah, it's behind the tree. Okay, well, I want to open the present. And Vicky, the demon's like saying, yeah, you can open this. I want you to open it. Gives her the box. But Art comes up with his hammer and he smashes her hands to fucking buggery. Bones break and blood goes everywhere. Ripped. Oh, you're like, oh, you're joking. There's a precedent there. Django. Sergio Corbucci's spaghetti western Django. Django Franco Nero gets his hands mangled beyond belief, but he still manages to use them, his club-fisted hands, to get it to work his gun and kill the bad guys at the end. Italian stuff always has the hero get disfigured and beaten and mutilated in some way, and then get their revenge. And Damien Leone is paying homage to that with this. So her hands are mangled, but she manages to open the box, and of course we know Vicky's going like, well, the wrapping's really shit on this. So we know Gabby's been in there. We've already learnt that Gabby opens her presents beforehand and then re-wraps them badly. We've already learnt that. She read all of Sienna's journal, all her memories and her visions, so she knows a lot of the shit's going on. But she manages to open the box, and it's the fucking sword. Now her hands suddenly seem to work really well during this sequence, and she will fucking slice and dice and hack and cleave Vicky to bits. Vicky's head will come off, and that her eye, they had an intense sort of soul transference moment, but Sienna is stronger, and like Vicky's like, I can't do this, you're strong, you. That's a perfect reenaction of what takes place. But when the head comes off, the glowing eye, just the light dims, and then her head begins to melt and becomes this molten mass on the floorboards of the house. And then you get the final battle between Sienna and Art. Chainsaw versus fucking mystical sword. Big fight, violence, lots of stuff. Art getting stabbed through and hacked and sliced. When she first unwraps the box, she hacks through Art's throat, and he goes, and down he goes, and then she fights Victoria, destroys Victoria. But Art gets up again. You can't kill Art, can you? You know, Art lives forever, unless the eco protesters throw paint all over it, you know. And then you want a chainsaw to take out the eco protesters, do you not? Big battle royale, flying all over the place, fucking carnage everywhere, and oh god, it is exciting. The chainsaw hits the deck, but it's still, and he's trying to drag her head towards it, but she manages to fucking stab him again and again, and fucking takes him down ish. And but in the meantime, Victoria's head's just melted the floorboards away, and they give way, and poor Gabby falls into hell. It's hell. It's like Drag Me to Hell, the Sam Raimi movie where, you know, Christina at the end thinks she's got away with the whole gypsy curse, hasn't. The train tracks open up and she gets dragged to hell. But Gabby, Sienna leaps to try and catch her. Hold the sword. But Gabby's holding onto the hilt of the sword, and Sienna's holding the blade with their already knackered hands. Suddenly her hands are knackered again, and the blade's cutting through her hands, and Gabby falls into hell, or somewhere similar. And Gabby's Sienna's like, no, I'll find you, I'll come back for you. And she sits there, having lost everybody now. And Art's disappeared. Art the clown has disappeared. And she looks at her hands all mangled, and looks again, and looks again, and the wounds all go, and she says, I have the power! I'm going to go to find Gabby. I'm going to bring you back. And therein lies Terrifier 4. Now, Damien Leone, even when he was writing Terrifier 3, said to everybody, look, I know I've got enough for Terrifier 4, because I'm exploring the mythology, I'm expanding it, and we can go much further, so I'm going to do it. So you're going to get Terrifier 4 in a couple of years' time, I'm sure. Folks, Terrifier 3 is exactly what you expect it to be. It's a pure Grand Guignol bloodfest. No more, no less. It's not as long as Terrifier 2. One of the complaints about Terrifier 2 was it went on for too long. It did drag itself out. The whole clown cafe element was a bit drawn out. I loved it, by the way, but this is it's better paced. There's a bit more character development. It's superb. There's a few more locations. There's a few more exterior shots. It's a bigger film, and yet it's still very intimate at the same time. The effects, practical. I'd be prone to say 95% practical, but I think they're 100% practical. Even in Terrifier 2, some of the most grotesque scenes, they were animatronics, but they looked incredible. You thought, there's no way that's an actress there playing that. That's got to be CG. No. It was animatronic, and it worked, and you were convinced. This film is like that as well. The splattery stuff, the bone crunching, the limb lopping is just, well, to die for. You won't see better. The gore just flows and flows and spouts in gouts and buffets. It geysers, geysers, whatever you want to term it as, fountains of gore from wounds that look really savagely horrible, scalpings, face rippings. There's no body part that does not get mangled in his movies. Fingers come off, toes come off, scrotums, dicks come off. You had a woman in the first movie, naked, upside down, sawed through from magical bits right the way down to the top of his skull, upside down. And that was the first movie. And you're like, what I will say with this movie is that nothing in this tops the bedroom attack in Terrifier 2. Yeah, you know the scene I mean. Nothing beats that. Nothing will beat that. And the reason for that is, Terrifier 1, we were like gobsmacked. My God, where are they going to go with this? Decapitations, head loppings, and head smashings, and eye gougings, all that sort of stuff. And the body getting sawed in two. Well, you can't go beyond that. Terrifier 2 did go beyond it. But it went so far beyond that you really can't go any further. And you can't. I don't think you can. The bedroom attack in Terrifier 2 managed to combine the most gruesome in-camera practical effects with wonderful acting of a girl that's in absolute agony, sheer terror at each escalating mutilation that she undergoes, and his horrible glee at doing it, and then taking time and like thinking, what else can I do? Well, I could rub salt in the wounds as well. And he marches off, dances around the bedroom, goes to find salt and comes back to rub salt in. But he's ripped their face off, their scalp off, he's ripped their eyeball out, he's hacked their hand apart, he's took her arm off at the elbow. Nothing tops that scene. And then of course you see it again later on as the animatronic in Terrifier 2 when her mum comes home and she's lying on the bed, the mum comes up, blood everywhere, and Art is soaring through her remaining leg, and it's just like, looks up, and the girl turns around, she's scalped and ripped, face is half gone, everything's ripped apart. She goes, Mom. And you're like, oh God, no. Animatronic. It's a genuine animatronic that did it. And it really fucking fucks you up. Now in this film, yes, you've got protracted scenes of uber violence. The family massacre at the start, axe frenzy, and it's pretty bad, yeah. The whole Santa Claus stuff, the chainsaw shower sequence, the two workmen and all that. There's tons and tons of offal and gore. That should be a comedy show. Offal and gore. It's all there. But it does not go beyond that bedroom attack. Because that is gore, violence, real fear. And like, oh shit, please don't hurt her anymore. Let her, oh God, let her go. Now we know where Leone doesn't draw the line. So because of that, you're not shocked by how far it goes, and he could go on forever and ever. The scene could last half an hour. It won't have any more impact because we've already had the most impact that you can get, so it's just more of the same. Now, something else I want to address is the fact that the bullshit around this movie's release, the hype, the marketing, mass walkout, vomiting, fainting, banned in France. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. It's marketing. Nobody is walking out of this movie. You don't walk into Terrifier 3 without knowing what you're going to get. Oh, you're in the foyer, the cinema. Oh, what are we going to see? Oh, should we watch The Substance? Oh, I've heard it's really nasty. Oh, I should watch this. Oh, should we watch, I don't know, Minions fucking 4. Oh, I don't know. Oh, Terrifier 3. That sounds like a good wholesome family film. Let's all go and watch that. Fuck off. You're not going to go in there. And then, everyone walks out in the first 5 minutes. Shove it up your arse. Absolute lie. Wank, bullshit. Marketing shit. Back in the 70s, in fact even the 60s, films had this sort of thing. Oh, people were fainting in there. The Exorcist is very infamous for this. Nurses on standby. The Exorcist, it's behind me, right here. Do you know why that happened? In London, at one of the first screenings. And don't forget, this had a limited sort of run in the UK initially. It was all local councils. You know, we're not going to show it in our borough. It was bullshit. It never got, Exorcist was never banned. But a woman did pass out during a showing of The Exorcist in the first couple of days. And it made headline news. They forget to mention she had an underlying heart condition. And she did pass out to the medical condition. Not because of the movie. She was going to pass out anyway. But then from that point, it was, we'll have nurses on standby, ambulances outside. Bullshit. Texas Chainsaw had the same thing. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead had the same thing. Vomit bags and all that sort of stuff. Maniac, zombie flesh eaters, Evil Dead. All these films had all this hype around them. Protests outside. Misogyny. It's good. You shouldn't have these with it. It should be banned. Bullshit. It's marketing to get us to go, oh my God. Let's play that again. My God, we've got to go see this movie. It's going to be awesome. Controversy means marketing. There's no such thing as bad publicity. The ban in France. The ban in France. And this made massive... I fucking saw this on so many forums and headlines which came to me on my phone. It's banned in France. It isn't banned in France. They've given it a rare 18 certificate. I think, I could be wrong on this, the last film that got, I mean, it's one of these news reports that I'm getting this from. The last film that got an 18 certificate was Saw 3, apparently. So the headline was, banned in France. You know, Terrifier 3, banned in France. Read on. No, it's got an 18 certificate. But then, all the big words, big, bold, anyone under 18 is banned from seeing this movie. It's a fucking certificate. It's an age certificate for the cinema movie. In this country, in the UK, we have 15s, we have PGs, 15s, 18s. Does that, I mean, it's a way of wording it. Does that mean anyone under 15 is banned from seeing a 15? They're not banned from seeing it. It's just, you know, you can't see it at a cinema unless you're 15 or above. You can't see an 18 unless you're 18 or above. You know, it's not banned. This fucking word, banned. No, but they fucking look, what's that on me arm there? What be that? Oh, it's definitely powdery. Forensic science taking place here. What is it? Who cares? Not banned at all. Just fucking bullshit. But it hypes the movie and it gets people like us, you're like, oh my God, and like fuck me. The amount of people that have messaged me, oh, it's banned. They're fainting. They're doing vomit bags. Oh my God, this film's gonna be. And I'm like, cool your jets. It's just fucking hype. It's marketing hyperbole. It's absolute shite. Don't worry about it. What I'm surprised about, in some ways, is that the way that the UK is going with the nanny state, which it is, that a film like this actually comes out uncut, and it is uncut in the UK. I've got a video lined up about the British Board of Film Classification and who's heading it up, and you wouldn't believe who's heading it up. And all the latest, well, I've been keeping tabs on what's been cut, what hasn't been cut, and stuff that's happening, and how they're combating, you know, they're upping films classifications. Films that were once 15 are now going to be 18. The big hoo-ha about that, although that really doesn't bother me, because all those films are on fucking home video now, so it doesn't make one bit of difference. Anyone can get them anyway, so what? Although it does sort of give us an idea of where politics and society is heading in the UK, and I wouldn't rule out another video nasty purge. I would not rule it out. So the fact that we've had in the last few weeks, The Substance, extremely gory, really disturbing, a really violent sequence in it, which I reviewed it. I went through it with a fine-tooth comb, and I came up covered in shite and substances and all sorts of things. And it's an excellent movie, but it's uber disturbing. And then you get this as well, and it's uncut in the UK. Don't go looking for a post-credit sequence. There isn't one. There is not one. Not there. So you can. I would suggest wait around to the end of the credits. The music is by, again, did I write this down? Paul Wiley. I have the score for Terrifier 3. I have the scores for both the first two as well. And this film doesn't really do art's main theme, which is a really grindhouse sort of late 70s, early 80s sort of, like, you know, like sort of pulsating rhythmic sort of, I don't know, primordial sort of synth beat, but it works. It is in the film, but I didn't really notice it that much at all. Nobody walked out of my showing, no one. The showing I was at was, I would say, almost half full, which, in all honesty, was pretty good. For an 18 rated horror movie, was pretty damn good. Now, I will say that in my lifetime, I have seen a walkout, and it was The Hills of Eyes. Wes Craven's original Hills of Eyes, a film I have covered a lot on the channel. I love it, I adore it. It's basically as disturbing and controversial as it was when it first came out. I very swiftly, at a young age, it became a Saturday morning movie for me. Just because I just loved it that much, and I loved the characters, I loved the story, and it implies a hell of a lot. It is very, very nasty. The remake shows you a lot more, and then the prequel to that shows you even more again. And they're both worthwhile. A rare occasion of a remake and a prequel to an original movie really, really work. But Wes Craven's original is still the best by far. But there's a sequence where the cannibal family get into the camper, and then they rip the head of a parakeet, and he drinks like a cocktail, squeezing the juice out of it. Baby's fat, you fat and juicy. That's Mars. But they nick the baby for the cooking pot. Now, the girl I knew, Sue, endless embarrassment, stood up in the cinema, and it was busy, and she went, "You're all fucking evil, you're all wrong, you're all maniacs, yeah, you're sick, all of you are sick," to the audience, "You're all sick," and she stormed out. She wanted the fucking well to swallow me up. Oh my God, no. Jesus Christ, no. But I stayed because I was sick and evil. but that, I've seen people get up and walk out of the cinemas before, but not because they're horrified. They're just like, "Oh, I'm in the wrong fucking screen, and this is not the film I came to see," or like, "Oh, shit, a bit late for something else. Damn it, let's get up. Come on, Myrtle, let's go." we've got a Chinese banquet to go to, you know. I told you Gladiator was going to be too long, and off they go. I've seen that before, but I've never seen like, this is disgusting, and march. Never seen that before. Apart from Sue, obviously. So all this shit about people storming out, oh fuck right off. It's bullshit and kidology. You may come on to me and say like, in my showing people did walk out. You go on to do that now. I don't believe you. I don't believe anyone goes to see a Terrifier movie without knowing what they're going to fucking get. And if they do, well, more fool them. It's going to be gore, violence, brutality, and mocking the victims at the same time. Things that people do not like to see. And yet, the 3 Terrifier movies are roaring up the charts. They're very successful. And you're going to get a part 4. There won't be any more after that, I don't think. And let's hope we don't get like spin-offs, prequels and this, that, and oh fucking hell, don't do it. It seems quite apparent that Jason Patric really didn't want to do much with this movie, because he dies with his character, the father, who creates the sword, and obviously Art's the demon, but he has a conduit who's another demon as well, which allows him to carry on living. So you've got all that going on, but every demon you've got to have an angel that's got to combat them, and you have an image of the sword being forged by some. It looks like something out of Ridley Scott's Legend. If you go down the Darkness's kitchens and all them fucking hulking brutes with the big pointy ears and baldy heads, and fucking if you look in Legend, there's bodies hanging up with no arms, no heads, no arms, just bodies, torsos, and they're pulling bits out of them like, if you look at it, it's fucking nasty, you know. So it's very similar to that, and like she's gonna get her sword being forged by this guy. It's a vision, it's a dream, but is it what really does happen? I don't know. So there's a lot going on with the Terrifier movies. The film ends because she's going to vow to go and get Gabby. But where's Art? Well, we find Art sitting lonely at a bus stop, and the bus turns up, and there's a girl in the bus reading. What's she reading? The Ninth Circle. And the bus driver's singing, you know, I don't know, he's singing a Christmas ditty, I don't know, fucking hell. And he goes, oh, sorry, am I disturbing you? It's only the girl on the bus. And she says, oh, no. Oh, what are you reading? It's not, she goes, I don't really like this. It's not one of those horror stories, is it? She goes, yeah, it is. It's pretty nasty. And it's The Ninth Circle is the short film which Damien Leone made, which introduced Art the Clown. And he goes, oh, well, you know, I like rom-coms. But he then goes, Frankenstein, that's a classic. That's a great movie. But they stop and they let Art the Clown come on, who just sits there. And he's fucking covered in blood, like he's still got his bag of tricks with him. And he's just sitting there, and this poor girl's going like... It's very similar to the original Ninth Circle short movie. And as she's looking at him, he's just like that. And he goes... End. So Art is still around. Art doesn't die, he just... And in fact, even this, he gets beheaded at the end of Terrifier 2, but he picks up someone else's fucking head and puts it, or rather, I think the other girl, his helper, puts the head on him. A black dude's head. He's a white guy with a black dude's head. And then carries on. But there's a couple of deleted scenes. The head being reattached, his normal head being reattached to his body. That was filmed. It's not in the finished movie. Jonathan, Sienna's brother, getting offed. That was never filmed because Damien Leone said, like, look, his death would have to have happened after the shower killing. And he said, I can't show you that because it would ruin all the momentum. The idea is, I've just given you one of the most grand, green, old, nasty moments ever. So I can't kill him straight afterwards because you'd be desensitized. It wouldn't have any impact on you at all. So you have to have breathing space. So it's better to do it as a shock, reveal that the skull that they've got in the house is not being nibbled by rats. It's not Gabby's skull. It's actually Jonathan's skull. When they put the glasses on it. All that. Folks, Terrifier 3. I've been through it all right now, and with a fine tooth, and now stippled with glue and gore and brain matter, tooth comb, and yeah, it's not for everyone. Definitely is not for everyone. But inside this nasty, nihilistic, really mean-spirited series of movies, there is a devilish, gleeful sense of fun and a real icon in the making. Art the Clown, what's his name again? David Howard Thornton really does give this guy a real dose of charisma, energy, fear, violence, but also pathos as well. It really, really works. Very bizarre character. Everyone who's got a fear of clowns, well, this is not going to help you in any way, shape or form. It's only going to magnify that, amplify it 10 fucking 100-fold. But it's genius. It is genius. I will say that a downside to this movie, a downside may be that he has a sidekick, but because during certainly the finale, she takes center stage. Vicky takes center stage because she's doing all the taunting, she's doing all the threats, she's the main focus. The demonic entity comes through her, trying to, I want to get inside you, to Sienna, but sort of Art takes a bit of it. He's in the background. He's just he becomes her sidekick. So I can see that people might complain about that, and that may be to his detriment. But she gets offed, but he just carries on. But there's still most of the scenes of carnage. It's just him doing it. She does get involved in some of it, but it's him primarily. All the big major set pieces, it's him doing it, and he does it like a pro. Folks, Terrifier 3, I can do nothing but recommend it to those of you who are stout of heart and firm of stomach, because it is as nasty as you think. It's nastier than you can imagine. It's what you want. But as I said before, Damien Leone set the bar really high with the bedroom attack in Terrifier 2. And I do not think he's surpassed that with this movie. He's just sustained it. He hasn't gone beyond it. Your mileage on this sort of thing may differ, so you may think otherwise. But I'm still more shocked and horrified by that scene than anything in Terrifier 3. But Terrifier 3 does rock your bones. It skins your bones and feeds you all the tissue and viscera down your own neck with rats to follow on. And then a chainsaw, a chainsaw tracheotomy. Folks, I have been always shabby Kilt-Man. Please, in the meantime, in this ever gore-drenched in between time, please keep it kilted, keep it Celtic, and I'm going to see you all. But do go and see this. Do let me know what you think. You may hate it, you may loathe it, but don't go and see it if you haven't seen the first two. Don't just wander in. Don't be one of the statistics. Oh, someone fainted. Oh, they walked out. And don't blame me. I bought a ticket for this. I found it absolutely horrible. I fucking told you what happens in it. So don't blame me. We have a new icon of terror. We do. And it's Art the Clown. Blood angels. I'm out.